K-Rock 955, it's Tom. Lingy, Loggy, we need to welcome a very special guest, one of our favourite friends. Her name is Lindie Gunston, spirit medium. Good morning, mate.
Good morning, darlings. How are we today?
Good.
Well.
Yeah,
That's good.
Good
So
to have
nice
you back
to see
in.
you back.
Thank you very much. Always fun coming in here. Never know what's going to come out my mouth.
I know. Have you had anything whilst you've been coming up the elevator into the building?
I have actually.
Wow.
I have actually.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few little things happening, and
Okay.
I'm thinking, is that somebody trying to connect? So I'll just wait and see if they come back.
Oh.
Okay, well, while you're feeling it, let's get to our first caller. Renee from Leopold is on the line. Good morning, Renee.
Good morning.
Good morning, Renee.
What's your question for Lindy, Renee?
So I had recently been having really vivid dreams of my father who passed a few years back.
Okay, my darling, can I stop you right there, please, before
Yeah.
you start to give me any more? Because what I'll do is I'll just start to tune straight into your dad and see if I can get a connection. Because I feel like your dad's been gone for a few years. It feels like it's not a long passing, but it's just a few years. And I feel like there's been no communication from him, but only recently he's popped through to you in your dreams. That's what I'm feeling here with you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I do feel like I might have had your dad popping in as I was walking down the road and getting into the K-Rock lift. What I'm feeling with your dad is it's quite a tragic passing. It just feels like there's some traumatic events around that leads to his passing, and it just feels like it's quite a sudden exit from this world. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, bless you, darling. Because he does make me feel as if there was things left unsaid. It feels like you didn't have time to sort out some things that you really needed to get answers to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Bless you, darling. I do feel with Dad as he connects in closer, he feels quite a strong character and quite big energy is what I'm feeling here. I do feel it's a little bit his way or the highway, but there's still this charisma about your dad. And I do feel he likes to connect with people, but he likes to connect with people on his own terms. He must have loved cowboy and western movies. Does that make sense to you, please?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I just feel like it's his... it's his thing that he likes to do. I mean, I couldn't stand it, to be quite honest, but he really shows me that's what he enjoyed watching. I do feel you've actually got a hat of Dad's too that's quite significant, and there feels to be a bit of a trim around the edges of this hat, and I do feel that this hat has actually sat on the dash of your car. Does that make sense, please?
No.
Okay, that's just where I'm seeing it. And I do feel with Dad, he talks about there being distance either between you and him or him and another sibling of yours. Like there's some time where we don't communicate and we don't speak to each other.
Yeah.
Bless you. And he wants to say he was a bit of a knucklehead. That's his words. He wants to say, there was times where I could have opened up that communication, but my stubbornness prevented me from doing so. And he wants to just bring through an apology for that, my darling, because he knows that hurt.
Thank you.
I'm also feeling with Dad, he's just bringing a sense of peace that comes. He says things have been quite tumultuous for you recently, and he says you kind of hit rock bottom, but you've been crawling your way up. And he talks about how you're really noticing things now, and you're starting to notice synchronicities and signs around you. And he's talking about African violet flowers. Does this make any sense to you? I don't even know if they're local to... They're not local to Australia, obviously, but I just feel like African violet flowers. Small little purple flowers in a pot.
I know the flower, but I'm not getting the connection.
Okay. It's coming through quite strong, so I would say it connects in somewhere. And I would say it probably connects to his mum. Is your grandmother in spirit, please?
She's still with us.
Okay, bless. Well, we don't want to put her there. But he's definitely bringing my awareness to little purple flowers in a pot plant, and I feel like it connects to his mum. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you. Sometimes we have to go and check something. We can't always get that validated. And I will tell K-Rock a story about that afterwards, actually. But I know that Dad's coming through to say that he is around. He's playing a big part in your spiritual awakening. He's also asking you to not misinterpret information he's giving you and not put a negative twist on it. Okay, so sometimes the human mind, we want to, if we're getting some sort of message, we try and sort of find the negative twist in it. But he's saying it's not what you think. Expand your awareness and look outside the box. Okay, and he just talks about new direction in career with you, and he talks about a grandchild, and there's the name Daniel. Does that make sense to you, please?
No.
Okay. I just ask you to consider those things that I've said. What was your question, by the way?
I had kept seeing that appear in these dreams, and I don't dream very often, but it was just so
vivid.
It just felt like real life, and it kind of left me reeling after the actual, like I'd woken up, just kind of trying to figure out, if there was a message to kind of come through from him out of the dreams. I definitely buckled down after his passing and kind of didn't really read into my emotions at the time, so I think my grief was heavily delayed, and
Absolutely.
I don't know if I missed something at the time or...
No, you didn't miss something, darling. You were just going through the process of grief, which isn't always easy, and it's not the same for everybody, And what I'm feeling there is it's taken Dad a lot of energy to connect through dreams, because it's quite rare. Like, people say, oh, you're subconscious and all of that, but we know different. It feels so real, and it takes time sometimes. Sometimes they come straight after they pass, and other times it's years. And it's only time in our side, but I feel like it's to do with the way we process, as humans, the way we process our grief. And so we're not always ready for that connection. And so Dad wants to acknowledge that it's taken some time for him to connect. And, he really just wants to acknowledge that it is him. And he says you're now ready to look at those things that you've not been able to look at or consider about him. But he's going to communicate with you. That's it. He wants to send those signs to you. Is his birthday coming up really soon, please, like in the next couple of weeks?
No, January.
January. Is there a significant birthday in the next couple of weeks, please?
Mum's birthday.
Is it May the 19th?
No, 28th.
28th, okay. Because I just knew it was coming up in the next couple of weeks, and so obviously that's his way of connecting in with Mum. And he just says, be gentle with yourself, my darling, because he's still unpacking to come, and just be gentle with yourself. And he is playing a part in your spiritual awakening, so know that he is there by your side. He wants to send his love to everybody that knows him, and he'll still be there. He's just in a different form.
Thank you.
All right, my darling. Sending you lots of love.
Thanks, Lindy.
Thanks for calling in, Renee. Bye for now.
Thanks for being so open, Renee, too.
Thanks, guys. It's a great opportunity to be able to talk with Lindy today. Thank you.
Bless you, darling.
Beautiful.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Renee.
God,
Bye.
full on experience there for you too, Lindy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Becky too. She's our next caller. We've got her on the line. Morning, Becky.
Good morning.
What's your question?
Hi, Lindy.
Good morning, Becky.
I just want to know, are things ever going to get finalised, and will we move on?
All right, my darling. Now I've got to take time to try and tune in as to what that situation is. But I'm feeling like this is connected to somebody's estate, something to do with somebody passing, dots and T's needing to be crossed, lots of argy-bargy. I feel like there's several layers of people involved here, and I'm feeling like a butting of heads. And I'm feeling like I want to throttle somebody around the throat. Sorry. And it just feels unnecessary, and it feels like, fucking hell, man, what next, for Goodness sake.
Mm-hmm.
K-Rock will beat that one out. I do feel this has been ongoing for about 18 months. Does that make sense to you, please?
Yep, perfect sense, yep.
Yep. And I do get the sense here it's a lot of fart-arsing around. Like it's unnecessary. But I feel like it's almost like we need to just take a breath, just take a step back and reevaluate our response to this situation that's going on, because there does feel to be an element of narcissism involved here. When you're dealing with a narcissist, it's really hard to get all your ducks in a row, pretty much.
Yes.
And so what I'm feeling is just stepping back and reevaluating, and perhaps even getting somebody else to have a look at the situation, because I can feel that the person that's dealing with it is these questions around that perhaps they might be dragging it out, so to speak. So it just feels like we need to really step back and look with fresh eyes. So that means taking a break, having a breath, looking at it with fresh eyes, because internally we're feeling like there needs to be some sort of change, because it's been going the same, one thing after another. And so I'm feeling with fresh eyes, that's when new inspiration comes in, and there's a feeling of being able to tie it up. And so I do feel by Christmas this will be done and dusted, and we'll just be picking up a few of the pieces just to finish it off. But there's a sense of being able to breathe. And so it does feel like there needs to be fresh eyes. That's what's coming to me the strongest. Does that help at all?
It definitely does. It definitely does. It gives me hope.
Bless you, darling. And that's what we need to do. We need to be consciously aware of the thoughts and the energy that we're putting into the situation, and it's hard, I know, but this is where humanity's learning to be more aware of our consciousness and our thoughts, and how to redirect our emotions and our thoughts, because the thoughts are shit, the emotions are going to be shit. Yeah? And so it's about redirecting that. And so keep that hope, because that's what's going to get you through. Yeah? And I know it's hard. You just have to remind yourself to breathe. And, of course, surrounding yourself with that support network. Yeah?
Yep.
And it's hard when it's family too, isn't it, darling?
Yes, definitely.
It's really hard. It makes it 50,000 times worse. Yeah.
Yes.
Bless you, darling. I'm actually feeling like more closer to the end of November. There just feels like there's a significant date in November, where we can really just wrap it up, and by Christmas time we're having one big party and celebrating. And I do get healing around this situation. And I'm getting an elder lady that comes in, actually, in spirit. So I'm wondering if you've got a grandma in spirit. And she's got red lips, like red lipstick on. So she's like getting herself ready. And she comes through, she's like shaking her head, and she's just a really a bit like, well, whatever, I do feel with her that she can see the stress that's been happening, and I do feel with her, she's like, you know what, it will sort itself out. It will sort itself out, but you need to put the correct tools into place. Actually, she's showing me some boxes and stuff of hers that's still yet to be unpacked. And I'm feeling like these boxes are in a garage. And she's showing me writings, like books and stuff, but these papers inside of books, like folded papers, letters, that sort of thing. Does that make sense to you?
It might. I'll have a little bit of a look-see around.
Okay. And did your grandmother pass a bowel cancer or something to do with her stomach, please?
It was actually my mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law. Something to do with her stomach, darling?
Yeah, ovarian.
Bless her. Okay, because she just makes me feel quite unwell with that. Not me personally, but she's just impressing that upon me. And she just says it was caught too late. Like they didn't catch it in time. By the time they got it, it was too late. But she handled her illness with dignity and grace. That's it.
Oh, she definitely did.
Yeah,
she was so beautiful.
She handled it with dignity and grace, and she just wants to say a big thank you to everybody, that poured care into her and loved her in those final moments because she's truly grateful. She's just a bit sad about all the shit that's going on, and she just wants to bring so much love. Now, you must love a wine, or she liked a wine?
Both.
Because I'm seeing like there must have been a trip to a vineyard or something like that, where we've actually gone to a vineyard and we've had lunch and wine and cheese, that sort of thing. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure.
Okay, maybe she's just really
I'm
trying.
a little frazzled.
That's all right,
Maybe
darling.
she's telling me I need to.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit of self-care. But, often when we're on the spot, we can't really think of something straight away. We need a little bit of time to think about that. And sometimes people go, oh, shit, that's what it meant. But she just wants to send lots of love. She's saying in the spirit world, none of this matters. Money doesn't matter. Things don't matter. All that matters is love, as corny as that sounds.
And there's lots of it for her.
Bless, darling. Remember that. And remember how much she loves you all.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure, darling. You take care.
All right, thanks for your time this
Lindy.
morning, Becky.
Bye.
Hope
Thanks,
that
guys.
gives some answers for you, and all the best. We'll chat to you again soon.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much, guys.
Becky. Bye.
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 Now, Lindy, you mentioned something before about you wanting to tell
Oh, yes.
K-Rock. What's that about?
Well, I had audience readings in Dalesford on Friday night, and they were a really tough audience. It was really hard. I'd gone there December, and it was so easy. Like everybody was really receptive. But this time I had to work really hard to get the information through and to get people to understand it. I just had to get more and more and more.
Yeah.
I was so drained afterwards. But anyway, so there was a beautiful bunch of ladies that had travelled from Echuca, and they'd had a few connections in their little group. There was 5 of them. And one of them, they were really open and receptive. One of them, I can't remember who I brought through, but the spirit that I connected with gave me information, and I picked her son, and I said, your son's 17, and I said, they're telling me that he's got a sneaky tattoo on the inside of his wrist. And she said, nah, I don't think so. And I said, well, you better go and check. So the next day, I run a workshop in Dalesford, and one of the group of the ladies comes along to the workshop. And she says to me, you know what? That lady went home, she rang her son, and she's told him that she'd seen a medium working, and that what I had said. And he went, well, actually, I have. I got it on the inside of my finger, but I wanted it on the inside of my wrist, but I thought it would be too noticeable on the inside of my wrist.
That's crazy.
It's nuts, isn't it? And so if spirit know, they bloody know. That's it. And so that really helps me to trust myself.
Sure.
Because I know that the information's not always going to get validated. Because for various reasons, people are like, sometimes they're stunned talking to me, which I find hilarious. Other times they just like, oh my God, I can't think.
Yeah.
And so you have to give allowance for that. It's just like this. One of the same ladies said to me, because I had brought through 2 young men, and they both, bless their hearts, taken their own lives within a short space of time. And I could see them clearly, but nobody would own it. Nobody would take it. And I thought, these poor kids, they've come through, and no one's understanding this information. But apparently one of the ladies heard somebody else going, oh my God, that's
right,
But I have to either work even more harder to try and get them to open up, or just accept it and just leave it.
Let it
and just
be.
respect their boundaries.
Well, that
there.
woman might find a letter that you mentioned in a
Well,
book
that's-
in 3 months, 4 months, 5
Exactly.
months' time and be like, oh my God.
Yes, and that's it. And that's why I say to people, like when they come for private readings, I'm like, record it. Because it's like the gift that keeps on giving. You listen back and go, oh, that's what it meant.
Yeah.
That's that. Because the information comes through my own filter. And it's like speaking another language, literally. And I interpret it according to my lens. But another person might have a different interpretation.
Yeah, of course.
And it's not about making it fit. And because I know very well when people are trying to make things fit, and I'll go, no, that's not it, But sometimes people will make anything fit.
Yeah.
They'll make a size 3 shoe fit on a size 10 foot.
They want to believe. They just really
They
want to
want to do
believe.
so much. don't
Yes, they want it so much,
We are joined in the studio by a resident spirit medium, Lindie Gunston. Lindy, what's been happening? What have you got going on?
Oh, I've got lots going on. I am currently working with 4 private mentoring students over a period of a year, which is really fabulous. And it's really nice to be able to work with them in this way. I've got a couple of them that are just starting to really break out into the industry. I had one of my students, Sally, come with me to a group reading in Creswick yesterday, and she watched me and she was really blown away. I loved it because it's just like, like, you know, this is what you can achieve when you really pour your heart and soul into something. And she could see the love and the healing that was in the room. You know, I only did literally about 4 connections in an hour and a half, but they were really long connections, and it was like their loved ones were sitting in the room and just enjoying the company and that, and everybody was really open-minded. It was a beautiful experience. I've been, dropped my pen. I've been doing private readings again, but very few. So I've got some availability on my books that I've opened up, but literally it's like 4 a week. Yeah. And so, they're there for people to snap up if they want. I've been teaching on a Tuesday night, so I've got a local group in Highton, which is bursting at the seams. I have to lock my dog up because he gets so excited. All the ladies rock up and he thinks, oh, everybody's come to see me. Yeah, so I've just got all that going on, and just been really enjoying life, because I think the last time I came here was at the tail end of another burnout, you know, but I'm much better now, just, you know, learning to balance. I'm a Libran, so I like to do it all or nothing. So it's just a matter of finding that balance.
And so what's the best way for people to get in contact with you and book you if they need to? Is it the website? Is it Insta? Is it all the above?
Yeah, it's all the above, and the website's got the booking, schedule thingy.
Portal.
That's it, which makes my life easier. You know, you just send people that link and they can book in, rather than me double booking people, which has happened before. 2 people turn up at once. Shit. Oh, God. Wait in the car, please. I'm a great psychic, great medium, but hopeless bloody person when it comes to doing all the business and the admin stuff. Really bad.
Can't be good at everything.
No, I know, right? Good at some things, but not everything.
All right, mate. Well, lindiegunston.com.au is the website. Thanks so much for popping in, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again real soon.
Yay. Thank you, darlings. Thank you so much for having me. Always so much fun.
Tom, Lingy and Loggy on K-Rock 955.